YouTube found community, B-52's fans, random people on the internet. My name is Giggens. We're here today to talk about the B-52's debut record, the B-52's, or as some people affectionately call it, Yellow, or the Yellow One. This was the result of a couple years of the band growing and developing, having put out the Rock Lobster 45 through DB Records. They got noticed and picked up through Warner Brothers here, and sent them down to the Bahamas to record at Compass Point Studios, and the result was this record, which was meant to sound like their live sets. There's very little production techniques on this thing compared to their later albums. This has more of a, not a dry approach to it, but a kind of a loose, raw energy that is just exploding off the record. I absolutely adore this album. It's such a fun, spacey, atmospheric journey into a whole different realm. And I think that's what people love so much about the B-52s, is that they take you somewhere else. They take you to a place where it's okay to be weird. It's okay to be you. It's okay to be a little different in a good way. And so when you hear these songs, these tracks, it's meant to make you forget about your troubles or forget about something that might be hurting you in your life. It's meant to take you somewhere else and show that you're accepted here. You're accepted with the B-52s. And so, I know for me anyway, that's why I love them so much. I love that they're so weird. But I take them seriously in their weirdness. So they're not some jokey, comedy band. Like they're so musically gifted in their lyrics, their songcraft, their vocal presentations. I mean, there's no doubt nobody that sounds like the B-52s. They're such a band on their own, and I love them for that, as many people do. But Planet Claire opens this one up with that Peter Gunn style riff and the sci-fi beeps and cheeps and the bongos going off, the steady drum beat. You get transported to another year, another dimension, another galaxy, and you love every second of that journey. And Kate delivers these really impressive, sort of not necessarily eerie, but these sci-fi vocals that sound like something you'd watch when you see someone landing on a different planet or when the aliens come down, and then Fred jumps in when she came from Planet Claire, and you're just in for this ride. What an amazing introduction song. You're just getting this chilly vibe of experiencing outer space air and going through all these feelings of, is this a place I want to be? Is this a place I want to hang out? The story about this girl from Planet Claire, I mean, everything about this is just so fascinating. What an intro. And it's such a good intro because it leads to this fast-paced rock and rhythm of 52 Girls, which is totally punk. It's an amazing song. But Cindy and Kate share the lead vocals on this one. And my favorite thing about a lot of the B-52 songs is the enunciation or their delivery of lyrics, where they can take a word or a phrase and stretch that out over a couple bars, where most bands would try to squeeze as much in as they could. They will sing someone's name for a longer amount of time, or they'll add a bunch of moments, and it fills in the gaps, but makes for such a fun listen because it's such a joyous, rocking song. But that main riff, I mean, Ricky Wilson's guitar playing is just fantastic, but the riff on this thing is so chugging and so direct and in your face about it, and singing about the girls of the USA. I mean, can you name them today? It's just such a fantastic song. It gets you up and moving, which is also cool because, again, the sequencing on this album is fantastic. Leads into this next song, Dance This Mess Around, which I adore Cindy's vocals on this one. Mentioning Stop in the Name of Love, and then basically saying, why won't you dance with me? I ain't no Limburger, I don't smell like this bad cheese, take me for as I am. All right, maybe I am a little weird, maybe I am a little Limburger. But her screaming, why don't you dance with me, is so infectious and so fun to listen to. And lately, as I've been going on my walks, going for exercise, I have my phone on playing music. I don't have headphones when I walk, so I just play my phone so everybody gets to hear what I hear. I'm one of those guys, I guess. But when I'm blasting this song, luckily where I go for walks, there's really nobody around. But once in a while, you'll pass somebody, and when you hear Cindy screaming from my pocket, you kind of get looks of like, what song is that? But yeah, the slow pace of this, the use of empty space on this track is fantastic. And then it kicks into Fred going, dance this mess around, and then it gets crazy and this frenzy happens. And then Kate comes in, everybody goes to parties, they dance this mess around, and I love Fred's line of, they do all 16 dances, like that's it, there's just 16, like what a cool setup for an idea. But the humor on this song, I love, doesn't that make you feel a lot better? What you say? I'm just asking, like, yeah. I mean, there's such to build a song like that kind of craftsmanship is intense because there's so much happening in such a concentrated amount of time. To do that successfully and to have it flow so easily takes skill. I mean, to write something like that is a pretty difficult thing to do, but they make it sound so easy. So, love this track. It's absolutely one of my favorites, and it's a staple of their set lists, and it's been a favorite of fans for years. Then you get to Rock Lobster, which is such an impressive track. And I should mention that the Rock Lobster 52 Girls single that they did before this record are two different versions of those songs. So when you hear them on the record, they're different than the original 45 on DB Records. That classic riff. I mean, Ricky's open style tuning has been talked about a lot, but it's such an integral part of the band's sound in the early years that helps them stand out from everybody else. I mean, it's down, 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 down. What a cool riff. And then what a bizarre song suggestion about a rock lobster. Someone's earlobe fell into the deep. I mean, the lyrics on this track are just surreal and bizarre and funky and weird, but we're all the better for hearing it. For getting taken on this journey of, here comes a narwhal, watch out for that piranha, look out for that bikini whale. I mean, it's such a fantastic song, and I love the different changes in it, the different shifts, the different moments throughout. But it gets you rocking and rolling. It's a bit eerie. It's fun. It screams. It captures your attention and your imagination. So the whole time you're listening to this track, you're not sure where it's going to go next, which is a mark, again, of great craftsmanship for a song. What a bizarre sci-fi track. I mean, it's amazing that this song, well, maybe it's not amazing the song did as well as it did because it was the 70s and it was different back then, but just a knockout of a track. And hands down, of course, it would be a single. Of course, it would be remembered as one of their best tracks. It's amazing. Then you get Lava, which again is another one of my favorites. It's the heavier guitar feel on this one. I love that Ricky's guitar is a little bit up in the mix on this one. And I do also want to point out Keith's drumming. Keith Strickland doing the drums is fantastic. I mean, he's got this excellent killer groove on this whole album. But this one in particular, I really like his drums a lot. The vocals on this one, the shared vocals where they both take turns doing leads, are so infectious. And then when you get to the moments where Cindy and Kate harmonize together, I mean, their harmonies anyway are just from the angels. But my impression of what Keith gives off drum-wise, for me, sounds like Chris Franz on this one from the Talking Heads. But the use of empty space on this track, again, I think benefits it. But Fred's delivery, I think, is fantastic. I love the ending with, I'm going to go jump in a crater, see you later. Like, again, craftsmanship on a song, stand out. There's a moon in the sky called The Moon. I love this one. More of that groovy outer space feel. This is the space age, as they sing. The organ sound on this one is really dense, which I enjoy a lot. But the dancing rhythm is upbeat. Calling out the different planets, I think, is really cool. And they're proudly pronouncing this is the space age, which I really enjoy. A lot of people have interpreted this song as discovering who you are as a person, whether that's either your identity or your sexual orientation. It's about discovering you which I think is kind of a cool way to interpret the song. So, and that's what I love about music anyway. You can interpret it in any way you want. So once the artist makes the song, it's basically left to how people want to take it from there. The next track on your Hero Warship, a lot of people have called this the first Riot Girl song, which I can totally see. If you listen to anything from like Bikini Kill or Heavens to Betsy, you can totally see a song like this fitting into one of their albums. Cindy does a solo vocal on this one, but her voice is just insane on this one. It's so good. She's super enthusiastic, and it's a totally punk song. It's totally a punk song. That chugging guitar, the heavy drum beat, the defiance in Cindy's voice is just like, you're hooked on every word she screams. This band is just from a different planet. I mean, what a delivery of this track. I read somewhere, I don't remember if it was Michael Stipe or somebody prominent in the music industry said, when you went to a punk show, punk audiences sort of ironically would shuffle or dance, sort of ironically. But with the B-52's, you were able to just freely move and dance as you wanted, and the music was just as powerful and just as impressive as the punk delivery from the Ramones or the Pistols or any of those groups. So there was nothing ironic about it. You could just be yourself and move to the music. And I think that relates well with a song like Hero Worship, where it's, the title itself is about, you don't necessarily have to worship some people, or you don't necessarily have to believe in an ideology. You can sort of be yourself. Crazy song. In a good way. 6060842, this song is so good also. It's definitely the earlier version of Tommy Two Tone's Jenny Jenny song. But, seeing a number written on a wall, maybe you should call it, might be a good time. Who knows? It was the 70s. The guitar on this one, I love how they do some like busy tone sounds, like you're on a phone call, but it sounds like the guitar has made those sounds. Cool song. I love the syncopation with the vocal delivery against the music. Very fun track. And the cover of Downtown at the end is awesome. You can't even tell it's the Petula Clark song at all because they make it such their own. And it's got this like, it's a very unique original take on this song. It's a party atmosphere. I love Cindy doing her screaming on it. And everyone just plays, sort of in this, I don't want to say lackadaisical manner because that's not right. That's not right. It's not the word I'm looking for. It's a chill kind of delivery. The atmosphere on this one just sounds so relaxed, but articulate at the same time. And then the album ends. So a very blank yellow back with some song titles listed there. Let me show you the inside here. You get Ricky's guitar. And the lyrics, which I think is fantastic to have the lyrics on here. And the label. So a lot of, it's funny because as I was doing some research for this one, I was curious to see, don't worry, it landed on pillows. I was curious to see how people, either music journalists or other music reviewers, were going to list the albums in order of like their best records, and a lot of them put this one as the first, as their best album, and I can definitely see why. Every song on here grabs your attention. Every song on here has such a youthful, hungry desire to show off how great this band would become, and they are on this album. So it doesn't surprise me a lot of people put this as their best record. Is it my favorite one? It's really high up there. I don't know if it's my favorite one, but it's really high up there. I have a few of them that I really, really love, but this one is definitely top 3 anyway. So yeah, that's it. I mean, for this one, I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. It's a fantastic album. I mean, if you like sci-fi, if you like party, if you like surrealistic poetry, come on in. I mean, this is where it's it. This is where it lives. This is where T.I. is. So, B-52's self-titled from 1979, 9 out of 10, hands down. I love this album so much. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Giggens. This has been an honor to talk about the B-52's, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.